We're going to shift gears for just a moment from that. We're going to keep the love vibe, but Johanna, is Maui a part of your life?
I actually grew up, my uncle lived on on the Big Island, and I also had my godparents living in Hawaii growing up, and Ram Dass blessed me in the womb. So yes, I would say that Maui is a very close thing to my heart. The islands feel like I still remember coming of age and getting off of a plane and having my godmother put a lei on me to represent that transition. So yes, thank you. I'm so grateful that we're honoring what's going on there.
Yeah, for those of us, I've literally been to Maui 100 times, literally.
Yeah,
It's been my second home for a long time.
yeah.
And Lahaina, Halloween night in Hawaii, everybody goes to Lahaina in costume and goes up and down Front Street. And I have so many memories of Front Street and Lahaina, and of course the banyan tree, which is a
Oh,
famous. The banyan tree, by the way, has survived. It's singed, it's burned, but it survived.
oh, good.
So I'm really grateful about that.
It's such an
So
iconic piece.
it is. It's like when you think of Lahaina, you think of the banyan tree. It's
Yeah.
it's. Some say it's the largest banyan tree in the world. It's over 150 years old, and quite the icon. So
Mm.
anyway, Johanna, I don't know if you've ever been on the show with Gary Malkin before, but I'm bringing Gary on. He, like yourself, is a regular on the Awakening World. He's a Grammy Award-winning artist.
Emmy, Emmy, Emmy.
Emmy. I always think
Emmy,
Grammy because
Emmy.
you're a music guy.
He's
So
a music guy.
the
Well,
Yeah.
music guy.
I've been a film composer for 30, 40 years, so that's why.
That's right. So brilliant film composer, brilliant musical artist, one of our favorite co-hosts. And Gary reached out to me a few days ago and said, Scott, we got to do something to support Maui. And I've got a couple people. So Gary, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce your friends.
Thank you. I'm so grateful, Scott. You are the man. You're such an important servant for our community of love, and I'm so grateful to you. Thank you, brother.
Love you
Um,
too, Gary.
I had the great honor and pleasure to have spent some time with Mindy Barrett for the love, the Unstoppable Love celebration for Ancient Secrets. We had a conference in Sedona in early June. And Mindy is a really gifted thought leader, representative, event planner. She has like 8 arms, and she really takes care of thought leaders all over the world and really developing their career. And when I heard what had happened and that we needed to jump to the fore to support Mindy, Mindy is really a representative of Dr. Clint Rogers at the Ancient Secrets Foundation and the Ancient Secrets famous book called Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. We'll put a thing in the chat for you to know. It's one of the most profound transmissions, ultimately, to awaken your sense of responsibility for your own health in a way that is magical. And that's all I'll say, because that's the only way to say it briefly. But when I found out that Mindy had lost her home and that your daughter, um, Madeline, sorry, was in the experience, we quickly rallied together. And Hope and I set up a grief ceremony on Monday, the 28th of August. And you'll tell us, Mindy, a little bit more about the kahuna that we have that's coming. We also have a poetry performance artist. We're going to have a beautiful grief ceremony, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Monday, the 28th. We'll talk all about that later. But in this short time that we were given as a part of the Bhakti Love Evening for Awakening World, we wanted to have an opportunity, Mindy, for you and Madeline to share your experience. And as a prelude also to the prayer that I've invited Hope Fitzgerald, or we've invited Hope Fitzgerald to offer as a prayer for the people of Maui and for all of you. So that's the context, everybody. Mindy, Madeline, welcome and tell us your story. And this is deserving a lot more time than we have, but give us a sense of where you're coming from and what you experienced as a preface to the prayer that we're going to be doing soon.
Deep breath, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I was off island taking care of my elderly ill parents, and Matt was on island, and fire broke out. And she had the wherewithal to gather our elderly friend who was living with us and 6 of our animals that we've adopted from the island, get everybody in the car and take off.
Wow.
She spent the next 36 hours in the car eating oranges and not drinking because she wanted to save it for the animals.
Yeah.
And
And what did you see, Madeline? What can you share from your
I can share that that morning, the power had been out since 5 a.m. and no one had really slept. And I got up, I did all the things. We were actually packing. And so I did some packing, and my friend Mary came and got me, and she's like, let's go for a drive and see the damage of the town. And we like drove down to Front Street and looked at one of the roofs had come off of one of the buildings, and
because there was a lot of wind at that time, it wasn't a fire, it was just wind.
crazy windy. And we went to the grocery store, and then we went back home, and I started packing a little bit more. And probably
Did you start packing because you knew you needed to evacuate?
No, we were getting ready to go off island.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay, go on.
And I was watching the smoke from the kitchen window. Our house was a little higher up than all the other houses. And I was watching the smoke out of the kitchen window. And at like 4:50, I saw it shift, the wind shift. And I looked at Diane, our 7-year-old friend, and I was like, all right, time to pack. Go pack anything that you absolutely love and put it in the car. And we took 2 cars. We had about I did like 40 minutes of packing and scrambling to get, it gives it a totally new understanding to herding cats. And I got everybody in the car, and my best friend Mary ran down the street. She lived 5 houses down from me and was like, we have to evacuate. We have to get out of here. Going towards Lahaina town from my house in Waihekuli, it was all gridlocked. Everybody was trapped in their cars going one way towards town. And so we went north up towards Kaanapali and just kept driving and like stopped at hotels and asked if we could stay there, and nobody had a room. And so I ended up sleeping in the Napili Market parking lot with the 4 cats in my car and Diane with our 2 dogs in the other. And there was no cell phone service the entire day. There was no police coming through the neighborhood warning anybody. They had barricaded people in on Lahaina Luna and trapped them. Unbelievable. And at around 5:30, people were starting to jump into the water from Front Street to escape the flames.
Yeah. So
There were people in there. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, there were people in there. We have a friend that was in there with her mom for over 11 hours. And
In the water, you mean? Wow.
In the ocean. Yeah, in the ocean. And, there's stories of how, the first layer of ash landed on the water, and then the water was on fire because there was a barrier on top of it. And like people with their children, and it horrific, absolutely horrifying, the videos and the stories that are coming out of what actually went down. And
From our friends, they're not random
and our
strangers.
neighbors, and everybody's really mourning right now.
Yeah. Well, this deserves more time. And what I want you to know is how touched and grateful I am, and I know everyone in the Awakening World community is, that you came on to help spread the word about space and time that we're going to have for the grief ceremony and honoring, because so often we focus on the actual, the food, the shelter, which is very important. But also psychologically, I think you told me, Mindy, that people are walking around like walking zombies. There people are deer in the headlights everywhere. And so, and you guys are also probably experiencing PTSD. So my hope that for tonight, as Hope enters this field to address those that are departed as well as those that are still here, I want you to know that this is for you too, right now. That what Hope and I are providing recorded music, and I just want to thank you for inspiring us all to show up for you and for the needy and the Maui community. We love you, we support you, and the Ancient Secrets community is an extraordinary community that is hosting this site for the donations. And there are many others I know, and we have a very particular gift to give. And we'll talk about that a little bit after the meditation, because we only have a limited time tonight. But you guys, anything else before I pass the baton to Hope?
Yeah,
I just want to come in. I want to come in real quickly and let people know, and I'm going to put it in the chat box, but the place to go to learn more, where we can support, because Maui needs our love, our prayers, but also our green energy. So please go to ancientsecretsfoundation.org/Maui. Ancient Secrets Foundation.org/Maui. And let's be generous during this time. Let's all do our prayer together. We're going to tune in with Hope and Gary's beautiful music. Mindy and Madeline, thank you for the courage to come in and to talk with us.
Do you have one more thing you wanted to say before we pass the baton?
yes, please. I just wanted to speak to, I know that there's a lot of really great nonprofits out there, and I know that there's a lot of government help that's quote unquote on the ground. We'll save that conversation for another day. But what I wanted, the reason that we started this particular gathering of funds is because there's, you have to be somewhat with it. You have to be somewhat recovered and in your body to pursue funding from the government. You have to have internet. So many people in Lahaina still don't have service. You have to have a ride over there. You have to have your wits about you to answer all these questions and be in a place. We're going through the inventory of our house in order to get some funding reimbursement. It's hard. It's really difficult thing to do during the moment that you're grieving and traumatized. And we put this fund together so that we can literally help in the moments that we see it.
Right.
I've been helping people pay for their prescriptions at the counter at the drugstore. I've been, just right now, right here in this now moment, to have the funds to support people that they've more than lost everything. They're lost. They are lost right now. So thank you all. We appreciate you.
And thank you for showing up, even in the midst of your challenge and your PTSD, for recognizing where the need is. Mindy, I saw you in action in Sedona, and I am a fan of you for life because you understand how to take care of people. You're amazing. And I'm going to pass the baton now because I know we have a lot coming up with the Bhakti Love Festival community, and can't wait for that as well, to celebrate the joy. Okay, Hope, pass it on, and you might want to tell me when you're ready, and you might want to say a word about the music just so that we can, I'll put something in the chat about it so people know how to get it or learn about it. But
okay.
here
I just, thanks Gary and Mindy and Madeline. It's nice to meet you, Madeline, even if it is across the many miles. I have great respect for what you did. You're a brave soul. And Mindy, I love you. You know that. So I am honored to be able to be a conduit here for whatever wants to come through. I am going to just show you quickly this little image. You can see it. It's a figure 8 made of flowing water. It's called the infinity wave. It may come into play tonight. I don't know. But in case it does, it's in that watery flow is a very high frequency of love and compassion. So if it comes in and you get directed to use it, don't worry about it. Just go with the flow, so to speak. All right, Gary. And Dearest souls. We are gathered here in recognition of your heavy hearts. And we weep for you. We weep with you. Let us begin by centering ourselves first. Let us breathe in through our feet the calming essence of our dear Gaia, of our Mother Earth, which holds us all infinitely. And let us breathe through our hearts down into her, up through the feet into the heart and down again. Deep breaths that bring our systems into calm, knowing we are held always, despite what happens on the surface. Fill your hearts with that blessing from her. And now let us breathe from the heart up through the crown, expanding outwards. And inhaling back into the heart that essence that lies around us and above us at all times. That love, that light, also calming. Allowing the heart to drink that in. Now that we are aligned with above and below, let us move our collective hearts into one. Let us come together as in a large circle, seeing a large beating heart right in the center of it. As we extend our hearts into that one. And in that large heart in the center of our circle, we tap into many things. We tap into the despair, the fear, the loss, the grief, the confusion. But we also tap into so much compassion. So much love. Let us invite Mindy and Madeline right into the center of that heart. And let us fill them with so much compassion and love that all they have experienced begins to melt away. Help them to receive it, even in the states they are in. Mindy and Madeline, you are surrounded. You are held with the most loving souls you can imagine. Even if you don't know their names, they are here. And it is not just we, but all the elders who float around us. The higher beings, the ancestors, indeed the entities of Hawaii. Move in now to lend their vibration of love and healing. Now, as a collective, still holding Madeline and Mindy in the middle, let us lift off and let us project ourselves to Maui, hovering above her. In this beautiful circle, in this giving, loving circle, we gaze down upon the ravaged scene. And we take it in. Because we are courageous. And we must see the truth. And as we weep, our tears turn to gentle rain. Rain that falls upon the devastation. Upon the people. Upon the plants. Upon the animals. But our rain contains blessings of love, blessings of compassion and empathy for all that has transpired. Blessings upon the waters. Blessings upon the caregivers. Blessings upon those who have transitioned and upon those who have lost their loved ones, two-leggeds or four-leggeds. And on those who have lost their homes, their vehicles, their businesses. All are encompassed now in this gentle rain of love, compassion, and healing from our great heart. We ask of all who can hear us We know the power of miracles. We know things are possible. And we ask the heavens, we ask the earth, we ask the wisdom keepers, we ask all who can hear us to bring gentleness, patience, equanimity, and understanding to all who remain there in Maui in the thick of it. We ask that life become a bit easier, even in these difficult times. We ask the powers of the mountains to hold these beautiful people who are struggling. We bring our great heart to join with the heart chakra of these islands. To bond with it so it knows we are here, we are willing, and we are loving all. Though it is hard to leave now that we are bonded to this place and these people like Mindy and Madeline, we must return, but we can leave this representation of our great heart to stay hovering over this beautiful island and keep working. Keep raining down all that we have begun here tonight until life has restored itself in some shape or form, and recovery is underway.